Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the Casual Sports Talk Podcast. College Football Championship Edition. And now we got a gentleman right over here who loves eating Bevo steaks. Here's Chris.
Bevo steaks, what are those?
Oh,
Are those a specialty in Texas, I assume?
his specialty is
I think you're saying that you're eating
them up all day.
Are you eating
Horns
steaks
down.
made out of the Longhorns mascot? Is that what you're saying, Stu?
Yes.
Oh, their mascot's called Bevo. Is that B-E-E?
Yeah. Yeah, so you're saying you're going to eat their mascot.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude, what in the world?
I'm not going to eat the mascot, but yeah. I mean,
You're excited. I'm just saying. And now we got a gentleman right over here who wants to pick none of the above on who he wants to win the national championship. Here's Douglas.
Yeah, well said, Stu. Too bad they can't just void it this year.
Yes.
Why? Obviously, we know why you're against Ohio State, but why are you against Notre Dame?
I mean, I'm not particularly, but like, there's a rivalry with Michigan there too. Like, they kind of quit playing like probably 6-7 years ago, and like Michigan was calling them soft, and there was just like a lot of animosity between Notre Dame and Michigan. Like, the first ever night game in the Big House was against Notre Dame. Michigan won, one of the best games I've ever seen. Like, there's a rivalry there, but I have some good friends that went there, so I mean, I'm definitely pulling for the Irish on this one.
Boo. You know who I'm pulling for? Buckeye Nation. But anyway, gentlemen, we got to talk about what was your thoughts, I guess, on this week's college football or last week's college football?
That Thursday night game was boring in the first half. It didn't get exciting until I think the fourth quarter. And then Ohio State. I think the Ohio State game was even boring for most viewers. But obviously, for an Ohio State fan, it was exciting. But
I thought it was enjoyable. I thought both games.
Well, yes, sir. You're an Ohio State fan, and you're a Texas fan, so obviously it's going to be enjoyable for you, regardless of the outcome.
I thought it was enjoyable. I mean, Douglas, you thought it was enjoyable. Seeing Ohio State win, seeing Notre Dame win.
Well, that's not what I found enjoyable. I did find the football to be enjoyable, though. Like, there was, like, that Penn State game was an all-time classic, I thought. Like, that one was that game was phenomenal. Like, the bad decision at the end for Drew Aller, and now, like, all of Penn State's coming back because they're mad. Like, that's all fun too. And like the Ohio State one, man, Jack Sawyer got his moment. Like, it was kind of embarrassing with the flag planting there and all that, and like him like screaming. So he got redemption, he got redemption.
Yeah. Big play. And also that one play, Quinn Ewers, we won't talk about it. but gentlemen, I guess we'll talk
Jack
about
Sawyer and Quinn Ewers used to be roommates, so it's kind of ironic, or I guess full circle.
The circle of sex, where my roommate sacked me and took the football and ran it for a touchdown.
Gentlemen, do you know what I really like about this week? Everybody here gets to be happy in some capacity. Like, what a week!
Yeah,
like you guys got the Buckeyes.
Detroit Lions are playing. What a great week of football it's going to be.
Oh, it's a win-win for everybody. Like, no one's going to be upset on this one unless you're a Steelers fan. But
well, we could be upset after Saturday night or after Monday night if our teams don't play how we want them to play or expect them to play.
Yeah. But anyway, gentlemen, we got to start with the first recap of the game. And unfortunately, we got to talk about the great game right now, Notre Dame versus Penn State. So, first of all, gentlemen, what was your thoughts about the Notre Dame Penn State game?
We already said our thoughts. I thought it was a boring first half. It was 10-10. And then what was
I thought it was good. I thought it was at least entertaining.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was 10-3 at half, and then it was 10-10 at the end of the third.
Yeah.
It was entertaining for sure, Stu. If you watch the fourth quarter, absolutely.
But I don't know.
I watched the entire game.
Yeah, I've seen worse games. I've seen a game where it was a Minnesota Raiders game where it literally went to overtime.
Those dang Minnesota Raiders.
Yes, where it was nothing to nothing, and literally someone scored a field goal in overtime in an indoor stadium, mind you.
Yeah.
I have no idea what game you're talking about.
That was a game a couple years ago.
Context.
That was honestly the worst game ever. That's one of those games where it's like both teams should have got a loss. You know what I mean?
Question: how do you gentlemen feel about the that like 9-6 Alabama versus LSU game? Did you find that to be a fun game, or was that a boring game?
So my definition, I mean, obviously teach their own. My definition of a good game: high scoring, back and forth, a lot of lead changes. I'm not one that enjoys defense.
Really?
But that's my own definition. Stu,
so like that one. So that one Super Bowl one was the Patriots versus Rams when it was just all defense and it was like 9-12 or something like that. You hated that game.
Patriots versus who?
The Rams, and it was
the Rams. Man, yeah, I remember. Like
that was a low scoring game.
Remember that one?
Yeah, that was a low scoring game.
All right, so Stu, answer Doug's question here. What do you think of that 9-6 LSU versus Bama game?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine. At least it's good defense. No, the only games I don't like is it like where if it's like bad offense, bad defense, and low scoring. Like that's I feel like it's a triple bad in my opinion, where it's just like both teams are trying.
So what Doug just said, LSU was it 9-6?
So Stu, you just want to see one side of the ball be elite, is what you're saying. You're okay if it's like an elite defensive team, you're fine watching that, but you also are okay watching a fine offensive team.
Yes. If it's bad on both sides, then it's like, oh my God, please end this game.
Yeah.
Like
no, that's fine.
Yes, that is my worst. That is my worst. Like I said, Raiders versus Vikings game 2 years ago. That was the worst game I ever saw.
Well, yeah. Well, this game here, man, like this, I think this, at least in my opinion, understanding of what you said, Chris, this would kind of fit the description. Like that last like few minutes of this game, man, there were so many like lead changes, like giant swings of momentum. Like I thought Penn State had it so many times, and then Notre Dame got it.
But I guess we also have to talk about RIP eulogies this week.
I also, sorry to interrupt you, Sue. I also like a game that goes to overtime. Like I was hoping this game would have went to overtime. I mean, I was hoping that the kicker would have missed that 41.
I wanted the field goal kick just because of that. I mean, and also I just wanted to just make fun of James Franklin and Penn State. But speaking of which, we got to talk about the eulogy for Penn State. This is the farthest they ever done. James Franklin memes still are alive and well. The meme economy for James Franklin is not going into recession this week, gentlemen.
So his memes, what are his memes that are not going into recession?
The sense that he can never beat Ohio State, the sense that he can never beat Michigan, the sense that his team can never win a Big Ten, the sense that he pretty much chokes in the prime when it's the most important game. He is now 1-15 on top 5 teams in his college coaching career right now.
All right, fair enough. I mean, the way I'm looking at it from a positive viewpoint. I mean, they beat SMU. Yeah, maybe SMU deserved or didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. Then they beat Boise State. Was Boise State correctly ranked at number 3 based on the way the playoff format is? Yes, but I don't think I would rank Boise State number 3. But benefit of the doubt, James Franklin got Penn State to the newly developed semifinal of the playoff format. So hats off to him. I mean, he was going up against a Notre Dame team that was coming into this game 13-1. That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Notre Dame's only loss was to Indiana.
Northern Indiana, mind you.
Northern Illinois.
Indiana. Yeah, exactly. I read somewhere that Indiana
Northern
lost
Illinois
on the season. Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Northern Illinois. Sorry, Douglas was right.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So they lost. Notre Dame. Okay, I was thinking of Illinois. My apologies.
Unfortunately, I think I'm siding more with Stu on this argument, though. I'm looking at this as a disappointment. And, you should have won this game. Like, you had every chance to win this game. You finally were supposed to have the veteran quarterback. James Franklin was finally supposed to get over the hump. I don't know. It kind of felt like a perfect storm for them to make a run at it. And then, of course, in the biggest moments, they just kind of have a collapse. It was just like, wow, man, you had control of this game for most of the game.
Yes.
And it felt like a kind of a heartbreaker to lose it. Like, so many things bounced your way and you still lost the big game.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy.
The Penn State fans at the game were going crazy. They were going ballistic.
Oh man, they're so desperate for a big win, man.
Such a quick turn of events when that guy was at a 54-yard touchdown pass. Oh, that was crazy. The Penn State defender just fell down.
Oh yeah. No, that was a great one. Yeah.
Oh, and then don't you remember when it's like this quarterback has not had any interceptions in this game? Pack to the next play, an interception in this play.
Yeah, no.
I guess he had one interception.
I mean, that interception was like one of the worst moments. I was like, you just felt so bad for that dude. Like you're trying to get in the field goal range, or you're trying to win the game, and you just do that. Like the only thing you can't do, like across the middle late, you throw a pick, and you're just like, dude, like throw the ball away. Like don't lose the game for your team. Oh, that's
almost at midfield. It was on the 42.
Yeah, that was just brutal.
That's a brutal loss. I mean, what do you do if you're? I mean, I think you still got to keep James Franklin, but still, it's like this team ain't gonna win no national championship.
Yeah. Who do you think? Which Pennsylvania coach should be under more fire, James Franklin or Mike Tomlin?
Mike Tomlin.
No, Tomlin.
All right.
Even though, let's be honest, Chris, you would kill to have Tomlin as a Browns coach. You would.
Dude, I think Browns fans really like Kevin Stefanski.
I mean, I was watching a clip earlier that a lot of analysts were like, "Oh, what's the X factor in Pittsburgh?" And the first answer is Mike Tomlin. But
yeah, I mean, and my brother-in-law, huge Browns fan, and I asked him what he thought, and he was like, "Dude, I love Kevin Stefanski. He's like 2-time coach of the year. Like, I don't think people in Cleveland dislike Stefanski, at least from my understanding."
Oh yeah, we like Stefanski because like you say, he's a 2-time coach of the year. He won it in 2 out of 3 years. It's the GM Andrew Berry, and then mostly the ownership and the Haslam family. But
you love Jimmy Haslam, the greatest owner of all time, Jimmy Haslam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess unfortunately for Penn State, for the Bobcats, are they the Bobcats? If that's correct.
The Nittany Lions.
Nittany Lions, you knitted your way out of the playoffs, and now, unfortunately,
because there's a mountain in Penn State or that area called Mount Nittany. There's mountain lions, and now they're called the Nittany Lions.
Unfortunately,
fun fact for you guys.
That was very fun. Thank you.
Or I should say, the Nittany Lions became the Nittany Kittens, and now they must now meow their way out of this playoffs. So bye, Penn State. Bye. So long. You'll probably make the postseason and then choke away again. Don't worry.
I wouldn't even hold them to that next season because the Big Ten, we got Oregon, we got Michigan. Michigan's going to come back. We got Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I think Penn State.
Indiana. So watch out, Penn State.
I guess we'll see. Yeah. But to see. I mean, it depends, but we'll see how it goes. But now we got another game. This is actually Chris Feodor's favorite one of all time. Ohio State beating up on the Texas Longhorns.
We're talking about this game. This is my favorite game of all time for Ohio State. It's inaccurate, but
yes,
for the time being, this is my favorite game in the last week that the Buckeyes have played.
Yes. Now, I just got to ask, Mr. Feodor, do you still want to fire Ryan Day now?
If we lose on this upcoming Monday, January 20th, yes. At the current moment, no.
No, okay. I just want to make sure because there's
current moment, no. Ask me that again next Tuesday when we have our podcast.
You know, it'd be so funny. He does a hardball.
Pending the outcome of that national championship game.
You know, it would be funny. He pulls a hardball, wins the national championship, and he's like, "Okay, I'm going to the NFL, guys."
I don't think. No, I don't think. I know Ryan Day does not have what it takes to be an NFL head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a head coach at Ohio State, you know, you have 1 or 2 high-powered quarterbacks. You have a running back core that's just amazing. And then your wide receivers, you're going to have the best wide receiver core in the entire nation. So Ryan Day comes being the head coach. He has, you know, a pretty cake on his platter. He has nothing to worry about except for making sure that they beat Michigan, which hasn't happened very, very often for Coach Ryan Day. But
yeah, man, it's a predicament for you guys. Like, you win the national title, but like, are you still mad?
I'm
Like,
not.
I was
I'm
reading
not.
stuff like, well, like I saw something. It was one of your old coaches. He said a national championship doesn't matter if you don't beat Michigan. Like, that was like a former Ohio State head coach. Like, I don't know how.
That said that.
Was that Jim Tressel?
It might have been Jim Tressel, man. I don't remember.
I love Jim Tressel as a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate because we lost the only 2 losses on the season. Oregon, week 1, I think it was week 1 or 2, doesn't matter. And then obviously last week of the season, Michigan.
So
we
here's
we beat Oregon, but we can't beat Michigan twice in a year because they didn't make the playoffs.
so I was inspired by WWE, like E now being on Netflix. So here's what college football should do to gain some viewers. Okay, they're gonna announce a secret game on Saturday: the Wolverines versus Notre Dame, additional semifinal. Winner gets to play Ohio State, and then in the finals, Ohio State has to overcome their arch nemesis, Michigan, to win it all, in the defending national champs to truly earn the national championship.
Oh my God.
That's how this should go.
And then you're gonna hear the Undertaker comes and the gong. It's just like, and it's just like, oh.
And then Ohio State fans, Ryan Day's just shocked as all of a sudden Bryce Underwood walked out of the tunnel.
Like, what? 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 This is not what's supposed to happen.
It'd be the ultimate revenge, though. There you go. That'd be the perfect season for Ohio State, too.
Yeah.
You avenge your only loss and you win the national title.
Oh my God, that'd be so good. But anyway, gentlemen, I guess we're gonna talk about what's your thought. I mean, I'm proud of the Buckeyes. They looked really good in defense. Offense, they're amazing. They got that one touchdown towards the end. You know,
I mean, that defensive stand, man, was impressive. Like that, I think it was 2nd and 1.
That's true. That was the game winner. That was the game clincher.
Yeah, like that was unbelievable, man. Like that 2nd and 1, you're like, oh man, dude, Texas about to tie this up, and Ohio State's gonna
I thought
have
it was
to
a
have.
tie, and then it's just like a penalty, and then it's like, oh my God, an interception. Oh my God.
So what we it was the running back for Notre Dame. They have 2 great running backs. They were really good throughout the entire game. But when we stopped them on 3rd down to create 4th and 6 or 4th and goal from the 6, I was like, I was confident we were going to get him on 4th down. But up until then, 1st and 2nd down, I was pretty worried. I was scared. But I did mention earlier in the podcast, I love a game that goes to overtime. So I guess I should love that what was about to happen. But I'm even happier with the outcome.
I mean, you love overtimes, Chris. You're gonna have a lot.
I mean, I was, as a college football fan, I was hoping for overtime. Like, I wish. I mean, I've still would have been okay if Ohio State would have won, but I kind of wanted some overtime. Like, it kind of felt like we're about to have like an epic finish, and it was just like, boom, game's over. Yeah. It was kind of like the wind where it was out of the sail, and like the whole game was like, I was super stoked for the finish. And it's like, oh man, it's over on one play. Crazy.
It's over on one play. I mean, but I guess we should also talk about the eulogy right now. Texas football yet again was in the Final Four, and yet again loses in the Final Four.
Yet again, when's the last time they were in the Final Four?
Last season, they lost to Washington.
Oh man, okay, well, too casual over here, guys.
Yes. Like I said, and
it was supposed to be their year, man. I mean, when they beat Michigan, like they beat them up in the big house, I was like, oh man, dude, like. And their only losses were to Georgia, and like they looked great. Like I thought for a while they should have been the number 1 team in the country too. So it was kind of oddly enough, both teams that lost the semifinals. It's hard to call a disappointing season, but I think I would. Yeah. Like it's kind of national championship or bust for this team.
And if I lived in Texas and was a Longhorn fan, I would be obviously I'd be disappointed, but. I'm just your only 2 losses are to Georgia, one in the regular season, then one in the was it the SEC or whatever
in overtime, mind you, went to overtime.
So and then like since they were on opposite sides of the bracket, that would have been in a perfect universe. It would have been Texas versus Georgia in the national championship game, and Texas would have got their revenge or not so much, but that's not what it is. But yeah, Texas, great team, only lost to 1 team this entire season. Before they played the Buckeyes, and that's why I was purely worried about this game as a Buckeyes fan.
And also, I will say, Douglas, I was correct about that. You said the Longhorns are going to win this one. I want an apology.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to give an apology, Stu, because I told you it was really close. Because like you were making it seem like the Buckeyes would blow them out, it wouldn't be a game. But I mean, it was literally a game that came within a yard of like going to the last minute of the game.
Yeah, I
So
guess
I'm not going to say
I
that.
was correct. I said more than 10.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to get technical about Stu, but like we both know that was a way better game than the score indicated.
Yeah, I know. It was a way better game. It was a way better game than the score indicated. I mean, and I guess we're going to ask. So Quinn Ewers is probably going to. I think he's going to go to the NFL, right?
I think he's the 13th ranked quarterback. Maybe I'm thinking of Kyle McCord. I'm not sure.
And I mean, I know there's rumors that he might go to another school, but I feel like at this point you should just go to the NFL if you're Quinn Ewers at this point. You made your million.
See, I mean, that's debatable because I mean, with how much a starting quarterback is making, like if he went to like a random like a Notre Dame next year where like, maybe their guy retires, like they'd probably give him like $8 to $10 million in like NIL at this point with how ridiculous it's gotten.
Yeah.
And it's like if he gets drafted in the second, third round of the NFL, he might make more money being a college quarterback next year than like being an NFL draft pick.
Prime example, Carson Beck, previous quarterback to Georgia who got injured. He's signed with the Miami Hurricanes. He's going to make $4 million next year. And
exactly.
I saw on the illustration that there's 8 rookie quarterbacks in the NFL. Not rookie, but 8 quarterbacks in the NFL that make less money than Carson Beck is going to be making next year.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So I mean, because like then he gets another chance to show that he's, a higher draft stock. So if he makes more money this year and then elevates his draft stock, it's like a double win.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess yes, but it's like it's still going to be the interesting. And then what do you do for Archie if Quinn Ewers doesn't leave to go to Texas next year?
I think you tell him it's Arch Manning's team. Like I think you tell him you're not bringing him back.
Either Quinn Ewers goes to a different. I don't know what quarterback I'm thinking of that wants to go to Oregon. I'm not sure, but either it's Quinn Ewers or I don't know if it's Kyle McCord. It can't be a McCord because he went to Syracuse. He kind of downgraded himself. I think it is Quinn Ewers that might be going to Oregon. So yeah, like Doug said, it's Archie Manning's team now.
Yeah, and also I guess I totally forgot about Ohio State. Finally, Will Howard finally gets a win against Texas. Took him 3 times. He was 0-3 against Texas when he was part of Kansas State. Finally beat as a Buckeye. So, I mean, I do think that, like I said, I still think Texas will still be that powerhouse. It will be interesting what's going to happen for next year. Like, will Archie be will be the starter, and maybe will he like elevate this Longhorns team in the same like greatness as like Quinn Ewers has done for the last couple years? We'll see.
I think his ceiling's a lot higher, that's for sure.
I mean,
but like, yeah, I think it was it's hard to call it a disappointment because year one of the SEC to like dominate and look like one of the best teams in the country in that conference this year is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But like, it's still kind of like you didn't beat like the 2 teams that have been recruiting at your level. So it's kind of a disappointment when you lose to like the guys that have sat there and gotten all the elite players. It's like, how are you going to get over that hump of those like truly elite teams?
And they're truly elite. So unfortunately, the Longhorns, I'll salute you. I will still hook them horns. I'm just saying.
And they'll see them Buckeyes again in the season.
No! I'm triggered!
Don't they meet to start the season next year too? I think it's Texas and Columbus, so they get a chance at redemption.
Yeah, so we're gonna have the rematch. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how Texas.
Knowing Ryan Day, Buckeyes are gonna start 0-1 to open the season next year. We're gonna lose to Texas.
Classic
Boo! Ryan Day.
Boo! Boo!
Hey man, if you guys won the national title, that's all right.
Yeah, true.
That is true.
If you don't, fire him.
Fire the man. Fire.
Lose to Michigan and now the Natty. You're out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out.
Just like the Longhorns. See you later.
Well, I saw a really good summary though. It's like, so if your 3 main objectives at Ohio State are win the national championship, win the Big Ten, and beat Michigan, and you make 0 of those criteria, that's a failing grade. You hit 0 of your 3 goals if you don't win this game.
Even 1 out of those 3 is still failing.
Exactly.
2 out of those 3. Well, he can't hit 2 out of these 3 this year.
Exactly.
I'm still going to say if they win they could be theoretically win the national title. I'll ask it. But anyway, unfortunately for the Longhorns, hook them horns. Unfortunately, Bevo has to go back home, back to the Longhorns.
Mhm.
Hopefully he's inside because it's cold in Texas right now.
Yeah, it is cold. And Matthew McConaughey is saying, all right, back to Austin. And now, gentlemen, we got 2 down. We got 12 teams that got eliminated in this tournament right now.
No, we got 10 teams that got eliminated.
10 teams that got eliminated. Sorry. 10.
No, you're fine.
10 teams that got eliminated in the stands. Who would have thought it was going to be Ohio State versus Notre Dame?
Yeah, not I. I mean, more the Notre Dame side. I mean, I think Notre Dame's the more surprising contestant here, having to go through, Georgia and some other solid teams.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, let's start. You know what? Let's start out with Notre Dame right now, gentlemen, because we got the. What do you think is our positives right now for the Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish? They've been looking good.
Riley Leonard, their quarterback, he
Yes.
has as many rushing touchdowns as their starting running back. I did misspeak earlier in the podcast. I said Notre Dame has 2 great running backs. I guess I didn't misspeak because Riley Leonard, the quarterback, is pretty much a running back. But what I meant to say is Texas has two great running backs. Yeah, the positive, and it could be the X factor, is Riley Leonard. If Ohio State can stop Riley Leonard, then Ohio State can win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think the thing I like about this game is, like, Stu, you're talking about, like, great offense and defense. Both of these teams have both. And, like, I mean, when you break it down, like, it's not surprising that these are the 2 teams. Because, like, Notre Dame ranks, like, I think I saw, like, 8th in offense, like, 4th in defense or something like that. And Ohio State was, like, 1st in defense, 3rd in offense or something. So it's like these are, like, 2 top 10 both offenses and defenses, which is really exciting. I mean, that, like, almost 50-50 coin flip makes a lot of sense when you look a little bit deeper at how good Notre Dame defense is. They get it. I think they lead the FBS in getting turnovers. I think they had like 32 turnovers on the season or something like that. And, like, they can run the ball, man. Like, it's kind of a bad formula. Like, if, like, they can follow a Michigan blueprint just in, like, terms of physicality, run game, and great defense.
Yeah. But I guess we should also talk about what is their weakness, Notre Dame. And I guess one of the weaknesses Notre Dame is like the same weakness I would say Penn State is. They can't get the job done.
I mean, they're 14-1. I think they got the job done plenty of times this season.
But history.
Oh,
well, yeah. I mean, but we're talking about this team here, though. We're not talking about
you can't really focus on history when you're talking about an ever-changing game that is college football. You're not going to have the same team year after year, especially with the NIL.
I understand. And also, I will say Marcus Freeman, hell of a coach right now, honestly, for Notre Dame right now. I would agree.
If we're talking about one negative, one downside of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, we're going the wide receivers.
Yeah.
The leader of the wide receivers, touchdown-wise, has 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're no Buckeyes. They don't have Ibuka. They don't have Jeremiah Smith. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the downfall for the Fighting Irish. I don't mean to ride Ohio State so highly, but that's the downside for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's definitely the big play. Like, Notre Dame has been a little bit lucky to, like, have some special team booms and, like, just, like, chunks here and there because they're not very consistent on offense. Like, they have great moments, but, like, you see a lot of, like, stalled drives and, like, bad passes and, like, dropped stuff. It's kind of, if Ohio State was going to win this one, it'd be like you stop the run because, like, they're not really going to be able to pass on you.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to my buddy's house to watch the Tennessee game, to watch the Oregon game, to watch the Texas game. I've told him 3 straight times, as long as Ohio State jumps out on top, gets a touchdown on the first drive, or stops it if we're going back and forth. But as long as they're the first one to score, we do pretty well, and that's exactly what we've done these last 3 games. So as long as Ohio State, goes up first, I don't think there's any looking back. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm. And now we should, gentlemen, talk about the Buckeyes, and we should do the positive of the Buckeyes. Will Howard has been balling as a quarterback right now, especially in this college football playoffs right now.
Is there any negatives for the Buckeyes?
Can we think of no negatives? I mean, they just look dominant. I mean, maybe the only negative is
I mean, the negative is, like Chris said, if like there's a mild amount of pressure, they crack. That's the negative. Like in games that they blow them out, like cool, they blow them out. But in like games that are tight to the end, they've choked twice. So it's like, like Chris said, if Notre Dame hangs around like they know how to do, and it gets late in the fourth quarter, I'm kind of thinking that's when Notre Dame has the edge. Like we all know Ohio State can blow them out, but if they let Notre Dame stay in there for 3 quarters, then that's when you see Ryan Day maybe panic, make a super passive call, or Will Howard, like overthrow Jeremiah Smith, who's wide open, like something silly like that,
Mm-hmm.
My negative for the Buckeyes is the Michigan game. And what do I mean by that? Is we ran the ball so many times against Michigan when we have a highly powered passing offense. And I got scared when we played Texas because I'm like, looking at it, out of every 4 plays, we were probably running 2 out of those 4 plays. I guess that's still 50-50, but for the kind of offense the Buckeyes run, we need to be throwing 3 out of the 4 downs.
Yeah, the run plays in that Texas game, I feel like they were at least gaining like a significant amount of yards. It wasn't.
Well, I mean that one play. Well, that one play before the half, that wasn't a run play. That was a passing. There was a screen to Travion Henderson. But nonetheless, yeah, we cannot. Ohio State. That's their one negative. Running. Don't run the ball. Even though you have Judkins, you have Henderson, 2 great running backs in the collegiate game. Give us a Jeremiah Smith. Give it to let's see, Emeka Egbuka. These guys are leading the nation in touchdowns for wide receivers. I think they're still top 5, but yeah, Smith with 14 and then Egbuka with 10.
Yeah, and like I said,
which I guess that could lead into positive for the Buckeyes. They have a great high-powered passing offense.
Yes, that high-powered offense. Just give it to Jeremiah Smith. Will Howard, throw that ball to Jeremiah Smith. Touchdown.
What's funny is like I saw a perspective that somebody said that Jim Harbaugh still beat Ohio State this year. And what I mean by that is like him calling Ryan Day soft just like made him so mad. But he's like, I'm going to out physical Michigan. And it's like, it just didn't happen. He's like, I don't care. If I have Jeremiah Smith out there, I want to run it. And it just didn't work, and he just didn't adapt. He's like, I got to prove the haters wrong, and it backfired so epically that it was just it was funny. It was funny.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, just throw the ball. Like, Will Johnson's not playing, man. Like, you don't have one of the best corners in the upcoming NFL draft, and you have the best receiver in college football. Throw it. Like, he had 1 catch for like 3 yards.
Throw the ball. Throw it. We are a throwing team. We're not a running team.
Not a running game. Just be who you are.
But
be who you are, and you blow Notre Dame out.
But, gentlemen, I guess I'll go first on my prediction on who I think is going to win this game. Oh, come on. I got to represent.
Give us your prediction and the final score.
I think the Ohio State University is about to get their national championship. First time in a decade. And I think they beat Notre Dame by 7.
7. Okay. So Notre Dame covers the 8.5-point spread. I dig it. Well, what's the final score though, sir? You said, they beat them by 7, but what do you think the score is going to be?
I'm going to go 35-28.
Ooh, high scoring. Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Christopher's going to be happy about that.
Now,
it is now your turn.
Oh, you want me to go? All right. Yeah. Ohio State wins. I mean, knock on wood, because we're saying it right now. Monday is going to be a different scenario. Notre Dame, they've scored 23 or more points each of their games here in the playoffs. Buckeyes have scored 28 points or more. Should be a high scoring game, like you mentioned, Stuart, 35-28. Oh man, these national championship games though are kind of iffy. I'm saying the Buckeyes. So the Buckeyes won the first playoff championship when they went.
Oh yes, that is true.
Now they're in line to win the first championship when there's been a 12-team playoff format. So if the college football scriptwriters are out there, Buckeyes win.
And ironically, in the year before, they would have missed the national title in both. Like they would have been like they were the 4 seed, and then they were like the 8 seed. Like they wouldn't have been in either tournament the previous year.
Oh, I see.
So they're always lucking out that the field expands perfectly.
Hey,
Go Buckeyes.
Buckeye Nation.
Buckeyes win this game. I'm going to say Notre Dame, they're going to score 23 points. Buckeyes are going to score, I like that number, Stu, 35, but I have a feeling that kicker we have, he's going to kick at least one field goal. So I'm going to say 38-23.
You think it's not a good game? Ooh,
Well, I mean, it's going to be a good game because, like I said, I like
yeah. I mean, as you're a Buckeyes fan,
yeah, right.
If you're a Buckeyes fan, this is the greatest game of all time. We could win 50-0, and this is my God, this is the greatest football game ever. I will rewatch it. We watch it again and again and again. But anyway, Douglas.
That's true, Stu. I've rewatched the Michigan National Championship at least 4 times.
I knew it. But anyway, Douglas.
That was a beatdown too. That was fun as a Michigan fan. It was like 35-13. Like, go Mikey Sanderson, but not this weekend not against the Lions this week. I mean, I can't predict Ohio State to win it. Like, I can't do it.
No.
Like, so
there's no bias.
Notre Dame.
Bias.
No, it's because Notre Dame's just elite, bro.
No, bias.
Riley Leonard.
Bias.
Riley Leonard is the it man. It's not Will Howard. Will Howard is not him, Stu. Riley Leonard is him. That's what I'm saying right now.
No,
I'm saying Marcus Freeman, Stu, is him. Ryan Day is not him.
No,
that's what I'm telling you.
I am going to call it.
I'm going to say Notre Dame. I've been debating on the score here. We're going to go with a weird score. We're going to go 16-19.
Ooh.
Notre Dame.
That's a low scoring affair. That sounds like a boring game to me if it's all defense.
That's how Notre Dame wins it, man. That's how Notre Dame wins it.
All right. You know what? Douglas, let's do a $5 bet. I think we're going to
I'm all right, Stu. I'm all right.
Oh, whoa.
Well, no, it's because as a Michigan fan, he cannot root for the Buckeyes. Like, if, being a Buckeye, if Michigan wasn't in the championship again and they were heavily favored meaning like by 7 or more, which the Buckeyes are, I wouldn't be able to root for the Wolverines. No. Deep down inside, I'd be like, yeah, Wolverines are going to win this game.
All right. So, Douglas, you somehow want the Irish, but that's okay.
I mean, I'm not saying that I want them. I'm just saying that's what, of course, I think will happen.
Boo. That's what I got to say. That is incorrect. I'm sorry. Buckeye Nation is about to get the natty. Let's
do 55% of the time. I mean, Notre Dame, they're there for a reason, too. They're top 10 offense, top 10 defense. Like, their running back is only going to be a little bit healthier, man, and that dude is electric, bro. That dude's electric.
You did say the Longhorns are going to beat Ohio State?
Yeah, it was close, man. It was close. Came in the last 2 minutes.
Scoreboard.
You said the Buckeyes are going to beat the Wolverines.
Scoreboard, Stu.
Really?
I mean, I think I lost $2.50 on that bet or something like that.
All right. Hey, I still say let's do the $5 bet. I'll pick Ohio State. You pick Notre Dame, Douglas.
No, Doug literally said he's not doing that.
Boo.
Dude, I'm trying to be more financially responsible, okay?
All right. Fine. But anyway, gentlemen.
That's a good way of saying that you want Ohio State to win, Doug. I respect it.
All right. Boo. Boo you all. But anyway, gentlemen, do you have any final thoughts on this great game? OHIO. No, mine is.
Football Jesus will be looking down upon the Notre Dame, and Shane Gillis will be very happy.
Yeah, touchdown Jesus.
No, touchdown Jesus will be hugging Shane Gillis.
No, touchdown Jesus is rooting for one thing, and that is Brutus the Buckeye. I'm just saying.
Stuart, touchdown Jesus, it's a giant mural in South Bend at the university. Yeah, there's no way he's rooting for the Buckeyes.
He's rooting for the Buckeyes. Touchdown Jesus.
Jesus is not up there saying, "Oh, let's go Buckeyes." He's saying,
"Dude, there's too many." Yeah,
the Irish is. But
I'm just saying, touchdown Jesus in Notre Dame is rooting for the Buckeyes. I'm just saying.
I don't know, Stu. I don't know.
All right. But anyway, I will say we're pretty much done with this college football playoffs right now. As like I said, this will be uploaded on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, we will get the uploaded on the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. We got some eulogies. We got some teams that are going to come in. Who's going to do well? Who's going to choke? And we will see who's going to get a Super Bowl. So as always, I'm going to catch you later, Mr. Gator. So take care. Bye-bye.